It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Welcome to ESPN College Football presented by Tide. An anticipated day of celebration in Ames, Iowa, as the most successful senior class in Iowa State history. As the program on the cusp of a historic moment. With the win, the Cyclones will capture their first conference regular season crown since 1912.
The building process and taking something and making it special, that's not a short-term fix. We're here for the long haul.
Looking deep, double coverage, it's intercepted.
I don't think we put any goals and expectations other than can we not be the lacking style of college football.
Kick on the way, no good. Iowa State wins in Austin.
We were 3-9. We didn't have a whole lot to sell. These young men believed in us enough to come here and have been an anchor of creating the positive change in our football program.
Iowa State ranked 9th, one win away from its first Big 12 championship game appearance, and still a shot at the college football playoff. The Cyclones taking on a dangerous West Virginia team today. I'm Dave Pasch here in Arizona. Mike Golick is in Bristol. And Mike, everything's on the table today. Still a Heisman shot for Breece Hall. Also a chance at the playoff and, of course, the Big 12 championship.
And you mentioned it earlier. Let's do a little revisionist history here. 1912, they were co-champs in the Missouri Valley Conference with Nebraska. They beat Missouri and Drake, the only two conference wins that year. Let's go to 1976. They needed a win in the last game of the season to make it to the Big 8 championship game. They lost to Oklahoma State. Here they are in 2020. Matt Campbell is hugging the seniors out there on Senior Day, the winningest crew in Iowa State history. And all they have to do to get to the Big 12 championship game is beat one of the toughest defenses in the country in West Virginia. These guys are ranked basically number one in about everything in the league, and then in pass defense, they are number one in the entire land. They are fast, they are physical, and they are going to give Iowa State all they can handle. Let's see if the best class in the history of Iowa State can overcome this hurdle in West Virginia.
Also today, two of the top running backs in all of college football will be on display. The Mountaineers' Letty Brown is 8th in the country in rushing, 2nd in the Big 12 in rushing touchdowns. But the headliner is Breece Hall, number 2 in the nation in rushing, and a candidate for the Heisman Trophy. Iowa State and West Virginia clash next.
ESPN College Football presented by Tide is brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen. Die-Hard batteries, available at Advance Auto Parts. And Coca-Cola, together tastes better.
About 15,000 fans at Jack Trice Stadium. The late Jack Trice, who passed away in 1923 from injuries suffered in a game, the first black student athlete ever at Iowa State, and it's the only FBS stadium named after an African American. West Virginia will get the ball first. Winston Wright on the return for the Mountaineers. And he's brought down to the 20-yard line. Let's check in with the third member of our crew, Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Dave, Jarrett Deggy and Neil Brown go way back. Brown was an offensive coordinator at Texas Tech from 2010 to 2012. His quarterback, Deggy's older brother, Seth. The Deggies are from Lubbock, and a young Jarrett would attend the Red Raider football camps where Neil Brown coached and spent some one-on-one time with him, doing the same quarterback drills almost 10 years ago that he does at West Virginia today. Brown said Jarrett's so easy to pull for. He pours everything into the game of football.
And Deggy's going to hand it off to Letty Brown on first down. Nowhere to go. Stop made by Jaquan Bailey. Bring up 2nd and 10. Deggy is reunited with Neil Brown after starting his college career at Bowling Green. He actually led the MAC in passing a couple of years ago before transferring to Morgantown. 2nd down and 10. Deggy's pass is caught and close to a first down. Catch made by T.J. Simmons.
Simmons, their big hitter for sure. But Deggy, I love the story of when he was in 3rd and 4th grade at camps where Neil Brown was, as Paul mentioned, doing the same drills. That's what I love to hear. The same drills when you're young, the same drills hold through time to try and develop you as a player.
Just short of the line to gain, so 3rd down and inches. And it's going to be a quarterback sneak with a push past the 29-yard line. Well, 1st down, West Virginia. Michael Laughlin came in and shoved Deggy. Neil Brown in his 2nd year, 40 years old. His name's been out there like
Yes.
Matt Campbell for a lot of job possibilities.
Yeah, last year's first year, the offensive cupboard was pretty bare, so he had to rebuild that to where he wants to go. And having a good year this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And you're right, both these coaches, Dave, they are young names that are really, really getting out there. But also, I'd have to say, two guys that love building what they're doing right now. I mean, they both sound just ecstatic about where they are and what they are building. Matt Campbell been obviously at Iowa State a little longer and really has built that identity with them.
Looked like we had a turf issue there where they were trying to spot the ball. So they've taken care of the grass best they can. Fresh set of downs for West Virginia. 5-3 record. They're perfect at home, 5-0, but they have yet to win a game on the road, but they've been close. Letty Brown off the left side, bounces forward for about 3 yards. Brought down again by Jaquan Bailey, one of those star seniors on that defense for Iowa State.
So we can break it down real easy for you. You mentioned their 5 wins. When they win, they average, we're going to show you, they average 210 yards rushing. And when they lose, they average 67 yards rushing. I mean, the difference is startling. So that's one thing to really keep an eye on here.
Gain of 3 for Brown, who has more rushing yards this year than he had the last 2 years combined. He's also an excellent receiver out of the backfield. Here's 2nd down and 7. Play action for Deggy on the rollout, and the pass is pulled into Iowa State territory. Sean Ryan, his 17th catch out of Brooklyn, New York, a junior for West Virginia. It's gain of 22.
Played in Temple in 2018. Great job. This just takes half the field away. You have a shorter route and a longer route. But you see, Deggy takes the hit, but stays in there to make the throw to a wide open Sean Ryan.
Good first drive by West Virginia from the Iowa State 41-yard line. They shift Brown back into the backfield. Go 4 wide here. Deggy's going to give it to Brown off the right side, and he picks up about 4 to the 37-yard line, tripped up by Mike Rose, who is not just the leading tackler for Iowa State, but the number 2 tackler in the Big 12.
So here you go. I mean, it is, Dave, I don't know if I've seen numbers this startling about what you do in a win and what you do in a loss. And by the way, all losses on the road, as they're on the road right here. So as we will obviously keep you well abreast of the rushing numbers today.
Deggy taking a shot downfield. Knocked away, incomplete. Lawrence White made the play. West Virginia has had some drops this year. It's hard to tell if Winston Wright should have pulled that in or if White defensively got a piece of it.
Also, the referee threw his hat off. So when the referee throws his hat off, that means the wide receiver stepped out of bounds and then came back inbounds. Now, he also touched the ball first, so I thought that would have been a penalty, but you definitely saw the ref throw his hat.
Third down and 6. And it's pulled in inside the 35-yard line, but short of the first down. Catch was made by Isaiah Estale. Let's see what West Virginia does here on 4th down.
Stopped by Mike Rose, a guy who started every single game of his career. 35 starts, an absolute tackling machine. As you mentioned, an early decision for West Virginia. I don't think it's going to be much of a decision here. I think they're going to go for it.
It'd be about a 50-yarder. Their kicker, Casey Legg, has a career long of 51. Fourth down and 2.
Oh, yeah, that's Letty Brown started leaning forward. started moving. That's going to cost them.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
He was trying so hard to hold back, and you just see him just tipping forward. He was on his toes just trying to hold back, but unfortunately you're right out there for everybody to see, so that's going to change the narrative right now.
They are 116th in the country in penalties, so that has been a problem for the Mountaineers this year. So they'll punt it, and Tyler Sumter will try to pin Iowa State deep. And this will go into the end zone for a touchback. No score. Iowa State on offense when we return to Ames. You're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Iowa State at 7-1 with a win clinches a spot in the Big 12 championship game for the first time in program history. Even with a loss, they're likely to get in. I mean, it'd have to be an incredible series of bad luck for Iowa State somehow not to get in. Question is, who will they play? As you look at Brock Purdy and what he's done this season, junior from Gilbert, Arizona, second team All Big 12 a year ago. Got to hand it off here to Nwangu, who's kind of the heartbeat of that team. Breece Hall's their best player, but Nwangu is their leader, one of those fifth-year guys, part of the program-building class for Iowa State.
Yeah, what a great group to set the example for the younger players between what this crew did and what Matt Gamble has done with them to set the future. The future certainly looks bright.
And a 4 there for Nwangu from Frisco, Texas. He stays in the game here at running back. Purdy will throw it, forced out of the pocket, being chased, and dumps it off to one of those tight ends. Chase Allen, one of 3 players at the tight end position for Iowa State that makes that group maybe the best in the country.
So you're going to see Tony Fields, the linebacker, come straight up the gut. And it makes Purdy roll out to the left, and there's Chase Allen, all 6'7" of them, making a big play.
They go back to the ground game and hand it off to Nwangu. We have yet to see Breece Hall, perhaps because it is senior day, that Nwangu is getting the start. Hall is just a sophomore. Second down.
I completely agree, Dave, that's the reason why is, you're honoring these seniors, and it's not like you're, listen, Breece Hall we know is a Heisman candidate, but Nwangu, while not as good as Breece Hall is, still can carry his own just fine in the backfield with what he does on kick returns and as a running back.
And there's Hall, 28 in black, motioning into the backfield on 2nd down and 7. And Hall hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss and 2. One of the Stills brothers, that was Darius, the nose tackle, senior from Fairmont, West Virginia, on the takedown.
So a frightening sight for any offense that plays against West Virginia as you're looking at Dante Stills and Darius Stills, the 2 Stills brothers. Absolutely incredible what they've done. Darius with 19 starts, Dante with 11 starts. These guys are in the 280-pound range and a little more. They are quick. They love making penetration. They love making plays behind the line of scrimmage. They absolutely wreak havoc. And then Tony Fields cleans up that linebacker behind him.
And West Virginia, the #1 pass defense in college football, trying to get off the field here as Purdy keeps it and dives across the 35-yard line for an Iowa State first down.
The one thing you just really can't account for, Dave, is when a quarterback takes off on you. Mentioned they're the tops in the country in pass defense. They have great coverage here in zone, and then they have to react to the quarterback. Purdy doing just enough to move the sticks. A very, very heads-up play by Brock.
He does have 3 rushing touchdowns. Pretty good athlete. Now we have a stoppage.
The ruling on the field was a first down. The previous play is under further review.
So they're going to look where the knee went down to see if the ball was across. It seemed pretty clear to me that it was a first down, but we'll find out when we come back. No score midway through the first.
All right, we're back in Ames, Iowa. Our first review of the day, Brock Purdy from Iowa State. Was he across the line? There you see the knee down. There you see the ball over the line. It is confirmed he does have a first down, so that was an easy one for us, Dave. I mean, they got to make it a little tougher for us to try and get these things.
And this is one of the things, I think you and I touched on this earlier in the year. I mean, you love at some point to see them just go to the NFL rule where you don't you spend so much time looking at these reviews. I mean, you give the coach another challenge.
Right.
Just speed up the game a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, there's the one side that it's always going to say, well, hey, let's just make sure we get it right. You just have to do it in a quick way, so you're not really killing momentum and holding up the game too much.
So fresh out of downs for the Cyclones at the 35 of West Virginia against the number 4 defense in college football in terms of yards allowed. We talked about them being number 1 against the pass. Breece Hall finds some running room inside the 30 for a gain of about 6. Lightly recruited out of Wichita, Kansas, but now among the best players, period, in college football.
Without question. And he could be a big hitter. He's got 4 runs this year of over 50 yards. He's 3 times this year as a Big 12 offensive player of the game. He will go inside. He'll go outside on you. He'll catch the ball out of the backfield. Both these running backs, Letty Brown for West Virginia, same way. You find a way to get the ball in their hands.
Hall picked up 6, lost yardage on his first attempt. In trouble again, and that's Tony Evans, who was waiting for him on the handoff. Another negative play forced by that West Virginia defense, which does not have in name a defensive coordinator.
Look at Tony Fields coming right up the gut. We saw that earlier on a pass. I mentioned Mike Rose, for the linebacker for Iowa State. He's the 2nd leading tackler in the league. You know who's number 1? The guy who wears number 1 for West Virginia, averaging just a hair under 10 tackles per game. And he's a guy that just got here this summer. He played 4 years at Arizona, just got here this summer, so had no preseason at all.
Was a 3-year starter for the Wildcats. 3rd and 9. Purdy's pass is caught by Hutchinson, but he will not get the first down. That was well defended by Nick Troy Fortune. We'll see what Iowa State does here on 4th down.
So you're either going to try about a 45-yard field goal, or you're going to go for it here with a couple yards to go. Their kicker.
They're going to go for it here. 4th and 4. Their kicker, Connor Asali, has the leg, but they go for it on 4th down, and Purdy's pass is pulled in at the 23-yard line. That's Allen again, his 2nd catch of the drive to move the sticks.
Again, these tight ends between Allen at 6'7", Charlie Kohler at 6'6". Incredible. They're just great big targets for your quarterback. They just do a little hook route, and they just wall up and use their size.
They come right back and snap it. There's a flag down. Hall able to get the perimeter inside the 10, heading for the end zone. Touchdown. Iowa State was over the ball quickly and snapped it with perhaps too many men on the field for West Virginia. Let's see.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Great call, Dave. Absolutely right. Trying to get their guys off the field. They couldn't do it. And there's one of the reasons Mr. Hall is a Heisman Trophy candidate. That one was supposed to go up the gut. He bounces it to the outside and takes it the distance.
17th rushing touchdown for Breece Hall. Number 2 in the country in that category. Excellent opening drive by Iowa State, going the length of the field. And Asali puts it through. 7-0 Iowa State. So Breece Hall showing first the ability to break a tackle, then the speed to get the corner, and hit pay dirt for the 17th time in 2020.
ESPN College Football is presented by Tide. If it's got to be a clean you can trust, it's got to be Tide Hygienic Clean. And in part by Ford. Built Ford proud.
1912, the last time Iowa State won a conference title. And they're going to be in the Big 12 championship game. We'll see who they face. Meanwhile, West Virginia with its first rushing touchdown allowed since October 24th. And on the return, off the right side, Winston Wright to the 28, plus a penalty marker is down.
You mentioned West Virginia and penalties. If this one's going against them, it's been tough for them this year.
Illegal block in the back. Return team number 15. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, West Virginia.
All right, while we have a moment, let's go to the studio and check in with Matt Berry.
All right, guys, happy College Football Saturday. Time now for the AT&T countdown to the CFP update. Notre Dame in a little bit of a struggle with Syracuse early. Ian Book here, 28-yard touchdown. Notre Dame would go up 10-7 at that point. And then moments ago, Javon McKinley on the receiving end of the Ian Book touchdown. So a little bit of momentum. 17-7 right now. Irish, the Fighting Golics over Syracuse.
And Deggy here on first down, setting up a screen to right, and he is drilled in the backfield and dropped by Anthony Johnson. You know, when it was 7-3 Syracuse, Mike, I was going to say, why didn't we have a friendly wager between the alma maters? But now that Notre Dame's back in command, forget that.
I thought maybe you'd take a picture of the scoreboard or something and send it to me. The Fighting Golics against the Fighting Pashas today.
What a rough year it's been for Syracuse. Meanwhile, Notre Dame in great shape to get to the college football playoff. One-yard loss on 1st and 10. 2nd and 11 now from the West Virginia 7. Here's Letty Brown. Stiff arming, but running out of room. Well defended again by Iowa State, which is in the top 20 nationally in rush defense.
Yeah, they're doing well there. Total yards, they're 3rd in the league. They're again a bunch that will get to the ball. They run east and west very, very well. If they're not, stacking it up in the middle and really two-gapping well, they run extremely well from sideline to sideline. They are very difficult to outflank.
And West Virginia just plays it conservatively, giving it to Letty Brown, but nowhere to go. Pickup of 2. And it'll be 4th down, a 3 and out for the Mountaineers.
Very conservative. Also thought if Letty Brown would have gone left just a little bit there, he might have had a little room to run. But I am a little surprised at the conservative call there for West Virginia for their, was about to see their 2nd punt of the day.
Well, Milton deep for Iowa State, and Tyler Sumter, transfer from Troy, where Neil Brown was before he took the West Virginia job. He's into punt. Short kick, and the fair catch made in plus territory for Iowa State. Checking with Paul.
Well, Dave, things are rolling in Ames for Matt Campbell and the Cyclones. And when you talk to people around the program, they'll all tell you 0 egos in this locker room. And Breece Hall said it best last week after the Texas win. It's a 5-star culture versus 5-star players. And if you look at the recruiting, since Matt Campbell arrived, they don't get what recruiting experts say are the best players, but the production can't be denied. And Campbell said to us this week, I think it was so telling, kids don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. And they care here in Ames.
Nwongu inside the 40, brought down after a gain of 4. But you look at Matt Campbell, I mean, he's got a history of winning. He was a 5-time national champ as a player and a coach. I know it's D3 Mount Union, but that's been a successful program for a long time.
One of the things here that impresses me is you saw where the rankings were and what they're doing. That just screams loudly of coaches developing players. You can certainly look at a ranking system of a high school player as well, but I really look at what this coach and coaching staff has done to develop the players and the attitude.
Purdy to throw on 2nd down and 5. Nwongu can't hang on to it out of the backfield. Incomplete.
Yeah, he has changed the culture. And what was interesting, I said, Coach, you're winning now. You know, maybe you're going to start getting those 5 stars. And he said it could be, certainly could be a possibility. But he also said you got to be careful of not reaching for the wrong guy. That can hurt the program if you just get a guy who's ranked really high but may not fit in with what you're trying to do. So there's that balancing act as well, though I'm sure he'd love to be talking to a few more 5 stars.
Big 3rd down and 5 here for West Virginia, especially as Purdy takes off again, and for the 2nd time on 3rd down and 5 or longer, Purdy using his legs to move the chains for the Cyclones.
And you know, you see why. I mean, again, this defense, #1 in the country in pass defense. So Purdy is obviously seeing good coverage down the field, but what he's also seeing is, heck, I only need 5 yards. Give me 6, get me to the ground, get us moving the chains.
Purdy holds at least a share of 24 school records. And he's tied for the school record in terms of wins with 21. Here's Breece Hall running right. Wrapped up at the 29-yard line by Drayshawn Miller. And a little extra activity. And a fight comes soaring in by the Iowa State bench with Tony Fields getting into it.
Yeah, Drayshawn Miller, as you said, forced him out there. Tony Fields came in with the tackle right at the help with the tackle right at the end. Then he was on the ground on the sideline. So you see him going down. Let's see what happens here. Guys kind of pushing him away. Oh, and
I think they're going to get Iowa State for that. I mean,
yeah, they are. He either tripped or had a really good kind of, you know.
But didn't it look like Fields was standing over, and you don't know if he's taunting there, but he was standing over the
after
running
the
back,
play was over. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 77 of the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. The down counts. 2nd down.
Let me tell you, Dave, what happens is when a play comes to the sideline like that, especially a physical play where it's a tackle, not just running out of bounds, the guys on the sideline are going to pull the guy with the different colored jersey off, but you got to not push him away like that. Now, do I think Fields did a little bit of acting there? Hey, if he did, you know what? Give him the Oscar because he got 15 yards. And unfortunately there, Mr. Hudson, you're going to be answering for that one for a while. There's one thing to pull a guy off your guy on the sideline, but you make it look like a shove like that, and Tony helped it, and they got the 15.
So Purdy will throw it here on 2nd down and 21, and the pass is on the money, caught by Hutchinson inside the 30. Down to about the 26, so on 2nd and 21, they get close to 19 yards.
I'll tell you what, offensive coordinator Tom Manning speaks so highly of Hutchinson. This was a young wide receiver group that he had to work with, but Hutchinson comes in as the number 6 rated junior college wide receiver, gives him a little bit of veteran leadership, a little bit more knowledge, a guy to come in to help the younger crew out there off the field as well as on the field, and said he's been fantastic throughout the year.
2 3rd down conversions already here in the 1st quarter for Iowa State. Hall waits for a hole to open. It does. And it's a 1st down.
Excellent push on that line, especially by number 75, Sean Foster, the left tackle. Watch him just keep driving right there, number 75. Just watch him keep driving on the play. Into his man, drive, 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 finish. It's a beautiful finish. Got job by the whole O-line there, but really nice drive there by Mr. Foster.
From the West Virginia 22, Nwangu is back in the game at running back. He'll get the carry here, and he bursts through a hole. Down to the 15 and close to a 1st down. Tackle made by Miller. Nwangu, who had just 40 carries all season long coming in, making the most of his attempts today.
Boy, they're just getting hat on hat right now, doing a great job. Jared Russ, 43, one of the other tight ends, because Dylan Sainer is out, leading the way on that one.
A gain of 9. Iowa State number 2 in the conference in rushing, close to 200 yards per game.
Flat out control the line of scrimmage right now, Dave.
Yep, against an excellent West Virginia defense. Nwangu hit from behind and spun down. We'll see where they mark it. Close to a 1st down. Tackle made by Mandarius Cowan.
A good job by Cowan coming from the outside there and making the tackle. See where this ends up. It's got a yard there, so 3rd and 1, but it's going to end the 1st quarter, so they get to jog all the way to the other end of the field. I always hated that. So far.
You probably didn't hate it as much when you're in great shape playing. Maybe
that's true. That's true.
Later in life, I understand why you might have a problem with that. End of 1. in Ames on a potential historic day for Iowa State, trying to win the Big 12 outright for the first time ever. And Breece Hall, a huge reason why. So, Oklahoma State falls to TCU. Iowa State is officially now in the Big 12 championship game for the first time ever. You got Oklahoma State and Texas at 5-3. Oklahoma's 5-2. Already had wins over Oklahoma State and Texas. They play Baylor tonight. And then they play West Virginia in Morgantown next week. So, hey, if West Virginia wins this game, they're still in the hunt to play Iowa State in the championship game. Meanwhile, 3rd and 1 for the Cyclones inside the Mountaineer 15-yard line. And Breece Hall able to get the first down inside the 10.
Okay. First and foremost, I don't understand what you just said at all. And I'm not going to try and understand it. I'm only good at simple math, not these different permutations. Second of all, I know you can't do it in today's game, though there aren't a lot of fans there. Don't tell Iowa State that they're already in. You know, because listen, now it may not be a high percentage right now at all, but they're still looking at the possibility of a playoff given what might happen in front of them, and that certainly wouldn't happen with all. It may not happen anyway, but certainly a better chance with 2 losses than 3, so let's let them finish this one out.
Yeah, no chance with 3.
No.
A chance with 2. Play action, Purdy into the end zone, incomplete. He was going for Chase Allen. 2nd and goal for Iowa State.
Alonzo Adai on the coverage there. Nice coverage. Adai at 5'11" and Chase Allen at 6'7". You want to talk about a little bit of a mismatch. Chase Allen looked like, and he had the reach there. He had his arms up for it. Maybe jumped just a little soon for the ball. But, I mean, that's what Purdy's going to do. I mean, we have it for you. We'll show you the list of size of the receivers that Brock Purdy has to throw to is incredible.
Yeah, all 3 tight ends are 6'6" or taller. We got a timeout of the field here. Early 2nd quarter in Ames. Iowa State's in the Big 12 championship game.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
And welcome back to Ames. Dave Pash in Arizona, Mike Golick Sr.'s in Bristol, but Paul Carcaterra is in Ames as we look at our College Football Award Spotlight, brought to you by the Home Depot. Breece Hall, potentially, even though he's on the Maxwell Award watch list, you've got the Heisman Trophy still out there as a possibility for the sophomore from Wichita, Kansas. As the quarterback Purdy keeps it, and he's in for the touchdown. 13-0 Cyclones.
Wow, watch how long Purdy holds the ball in Breece Hall's belly. This is what makes the play. You got to have patience when you're reading. The ball in the belly, ready to take it, and pulls it right at the last minute. Excellent job. Jarrell Brock gets a block on Tony Fields as well. Cut inside of that and right to the end zone. But that's a really nice job by Purdy showing patience.
You know, he was not 100% for a good part of last year. And when healthy, I wonder, speaking of Heisman, I wonder if next year we're going to be talking about him in that regard, because this guy's just scratching the surface as the point after is good. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, 14 passing touchdowns, 14-0 Iowa State. Let's go to Matt.
All right, guys, time now for the Rocket Mortgage Studio update. Notre Dame starting to flex a little bit against Syracuse. Took a little bit longer than expected, but here Ian Book, another nice toss and another nice catch from McKinley. 24-7 at the half. Notre Dame over Syracuse.
Javon McKinley having himself a half. 6 catches, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Pretty impressive there.
As we look at our Capital One college football playoff rankings, with Alabama playing LSU tonight, Clemson's on ABC against Virginia Tech. Ohio State rolled despite being down several players. A&M a winner. Florida in front right now. Cincinnati's game was canceled. Georgia's postponed. Notre Dame, you think, as long as they are in the
well, I don't.
whether they win or lose.
Well, it depends on how you. If you lose, remember in the playoffs they lost like 30-3 to Clemson.
Yeah.
If you lose something like that, which I don't think they would do, that could hurt you. But you're talking like Florida and Alabama. How does that game go? Could Florida win, but it'd be a close game, and they both be? And we'll get to a lot of that. A lot to talk about there. But right now Iowa State doing exactly what they need to do in this game, even though they are already in the Big 12 championship game.
Here's Wright for West Virginia, and a good return close to the 30-yard line. Well, speaking of the college football playoff rankings, we're almost at the finish line.
Yeah.
We'll have another edition for you at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Tuesday on ESPN and the ESPN app. Reese and the guys breaking them down from top to bottom. Who will play in the college football playoff semifinals on New Year's Day, which is a Friday in 2021.
And I tell you, Dave, that Alabama-LSU game, after what LSU did to Bama last year, and that game and what happened, oh boy. What is it, about a 30-point spread right now? It's making it ugly.
It's going to get really ugly, you'd have to think. Empty set here. What's West Virginia made up? Down 14-0 on the road here. Pass is errant and incomplete. Mike O'Loughlin, the intended receiver, with Mason Chambers in coverage. I just want to go back, though, Mike, to what you said about Notre Dame. I got to think, even if Clemson rolls them, because Trevor Lawrence is back, I still have to think they're in based on the body of work, because you got to say that overall, if it's about being the best 4 teams, Notre Dame's one of the 4 best teams.
Yeah, listen, I do agree with you, but Notre Dame, like I said, people saw that one time. You don't know how much that sticks in people's minds if it's a game like that. Again, I don't expect it to be a game like that. I think it is going to be an excellent game in the ACC championship game.
Here's Deggy on 2nd down and 10. And checks it down to Letty Brown, who has 28 catches now on the year. He's driven out of bounds after a gain of 5 or 6.
You look at what they've done. I mean, the big win was Clemson, but we know they missed 3 or 4 player starters on defense. Trevor Lawrence obviously not on offense there. So we'll get to see. Everybody who said, oh, they only won because of that, we'll find out. Notre Dame has a great opportunity, as Clemson does as well, to avenge their only loss of the year. Game I know I'm certainly looking forward to.
3rd down and 4 for the Mountaineers. At some point, got to put a drive together, especially the way Iowa State's rolling offensively right now. Out of empty, blitz coming up the middle. Deggy's pass is caught by Simmons for a 1st down at the 46-yard line. Tackle made by Isheem Young. There's a 1st down for West Virginia. See if that gets them going.
You saw 2 times on the last 3 plays, Letty Brown going all the way to the right to make it trip right, to open up the left side in a little crossing route there to make the 1st down. I'll be interested. They love putting Letty Brown out at wide receiver as well to try and get the ball in his hands, or at times use him as a decoy.
Gain of 13. Play fake here for Deggy. And going downtown. Got a receiver, but overthrown. Diving attempt by Sean Ryan. Could not come up with it.
Isheem Young on the coverage for Iowa State. Just a little long here to Hare Long, and Deggy stayed in there. Got the pressure, took a shot by Will McDonald. Stood right in there to make the throw, but just a hair long.
Deggy completes close to 70% of his passes. Play fake here. And then how about that on the shovel pass to Brown? That was a beautiful call. Gotta love that design. You fake the handoff, then you come back with a shovel pass, and it's close to a 1st down pickup.
As I said, any way you get the ball in his hands. And you said fake that handoff right up the gut there. Good block by Michael Brown, the right guard, getting up to the 2nd level. Clear a little bit of space for Letty.
Best drive of the day by far, but they got to pick up this 1st down, 3rd and inches here. And Deggy again getting the push from McLaughlin. That's the 2nd time we've seen the tight end come in and shove the backside of the quarterback.
Can I just say, I hated that they changed that rule, because you weren't allowed to push the quarterback, and then so you try and fake it, and now they let you do it. So it's just so apparent. I mean, it's just so right out there. Hey, we're going to shove the quarterback. If that sounds like a frustrated defensive player, it's because it is.
Yeah. But the old, you can push, but you can't pull.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And quite honestly, if the guy was pulling him, they probably wouldn't throw a flag either. You can do whatever you want to help the guy.
Now, that's definitely spoken like a defensive line.
Yeah.
Letty Brown stood up after maybe a gain of 2 with Chambers on the initial hit, along with Greg Iceworth, who's making his 31st consecutive start.
Again, Lenny Brown, 500-yard games this season, 8th in the nation with just under 900 yards receiving. And again, you'll see him as a receiver. He has 27 receptions. Junior out of Philly. I mean, just one of those guys. And these are the running backs of today. In the backfield, in the slot, as a wide receiver. Find different ways to line him up, get the matchups you want as you see him motion out to the left. He's got him.
Deggy, and dumps it off. Fighting for yardage is Esdale. Second catch on the day, 9th on the year. He'll come up about 4 yards shy of the line to gain. Another third down here for WVU.
Okay, good play. Got some yards, some positive yards here, but this is one he had some time. Look at Lenny Brown up at the top. You're going to see him. He's going to be wide open. They back off. He is standing there wide open. Now, again, good positive play there, and they do get the first down still anyway.
It's Simmons on the catch inside the 30. So fresh set of downs for West Virginia. Perfect on third down on this possession.
Dave, West Virginia really needed this because offensively, Iowa State is really controlling the line of scrimmage and will be very content at short passes and running the ball. West Virginia needed a drive like this, got to get some points on the board.
Neil Brown, the head coach. Jared Parker is the offensive coordinator. Coached with John Haycock, the Iowa State defensive coordinator, when they were at Purdue together. Deggy from the pocket. Receiver comes open, and the catch is made by Esdale again. We'll see where forward progress is spotted. He was close to the first down when he made the catch.
You're going to call right now 2nd and 1, which still opens the door for so many options.
West Virginia team that losses at Oklahoma State, at Texas Tech, on a fumble return for a touchdown late by the Red Raiders. Had a chance to win the Texas game, could not. Lenny Brown is brought down. Looks like he's short. Eisworth on the stop. So another third down here for West Virginia.
Yeah, you want to play football? You get collisions, man. Michael Laughlin, 87, picking up Mike Rose, the linebacker for Iowa State on the blitz. That was a collision at the line of scrimmage. Watch 87 coming over. Boom, there is a nice collision and nice job. Rose tries to hang on. Still they're a half yard short.
See if McLaughlin, as soon as you see him motion into the backfield behind the quarterback, you know it's coming.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah.
And the quarterback sneak works again. You know, you wonder if, you know, the slow start by West Virginia, you wonder if it's just because they haven't played a game since November 14th.
Yeah,
they won that game against TCU. They did have a bye, and then the game with Oklahoma got postponed because of COVID.
Right. So they played 5 weeks in a row, had the bye, and then had the postponements. And as Coach Brown talked about, it's tough to, you know, you're practicing to play, and then you're not playing. Where if you knew you were just practicing and not playing, you could get some young guys some experience and such. But just like this year has been, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Deggy to the air on first down. Gets hit. And some contact downfield as well, as Esdale got tangled up with Anthony Johnson. Perhaps they're going to say that it was uncatchable. It was Uwazurike who had the lick on the quarterback, Jared Deggy.
They're starting to get a little bit of pressure on Deggy. They have, Iowa State defense does have 24 sacks this year. But again, sacks is just the number. If you get pressure and can force a bad throw, that, believe me, that's just as good.
14th play of the drive for West Virginia. In the red zone on 2nd and 10. And a penalty marker is down. There was some movement.
Movement again.
Before the snap, ball start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Wow. Absolutely crushing.
The guilty man was Parker Moore, so it'll be 2nd down and 15. Now they're outside the 20-yard line.
I mean, just these issues that they've had in the wrong time. You know, there are some penalties that are more acceptable than others. But as you see there, 121st in FBS, 80 yards, basically 78 yards a game in penalties. And what a horrible time for that.
At the clock. clock to 8 minutes, 20 seconds, please, 8:20, and start it on the snap.
Because there was technically never a play. It was a dead ball foul. So 2nd down and 15. West Virginia trying to get its 6th win of the year. They won 5 all of last year in Neil Brown's first year in Morgantown. Empty set here. Deggy with a quick throw, and it's knocked away and almost picked off by Eisworth, stepping in front of the receiver, Sean Ryan.
What a great job by Eisworth breaking on that ball like he was running the route. This is an old quarterback in high school, maybe doing some quarterback read, saying, I'm just going to read the eyes of that quarterback and make the break on the ball, and he gets that one and he's gone. He knows exactly what's happening with that middle receiver. As the inside receiver goes deep and the outside receiver goes out, he knew his was just curling up.
West Virginia 4 of 4 on 3rd down, but they have to get all the way down to the 7-yard line, and Deggy in trouble. Forced out of the pocket as McDonald got pressure.
Oh, no.
And now Deggy was across the line when he threw the ball. It was picked off. Oh, wait, it was caught, they say, by Simmons inside the 5, but man, he looked like his whole body was across the line by at least a yard.
Davis, not even close. And again, it's where the ball is released, but I do think he was way over the line of scrimmage. So good job keeping the play alive. You see 3rd, oh yeah, way over the line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 5 yards.
Yeah, not even a yard. Close, so, that just comes down to awareness.
Illegal forward pass on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It includes a loss of down. 4th down.
Wow. So here's a situation where they had a great drive going, looking like possibly a touchdown or if nothing else a short field goal, and they've just gone backwards now. And that's on Deggy. That's just awareness. You saw him rolling that well. You saw the 3rd down stick. It's right there. You got to be able to know where you can go.
And so a 41-yard field goal try. Casey Legg played soccer primarily in high school. He's from Charleston, West Virginia. Just 1 miss on the year. Trying to get the Mountaineers on the board.
Nope.
Not even close. Wide to the right. Still nothing for West Virginia. Midway through the 2nd quarter, 14-zip Cyclones.
Janine Floyd, according to her son Darius Stills, is fearless. Janine was diagnosed in 2016 with breast cancer, and her ability to fight was an inspiration to Darius and his brother Dante, who at the time were scared teenagers. When the two were in high school, Darius told me his mom would travel in between radiation treatments so the boys could attend football camps just to be recruited. And she never, ever missed their games. Today, the good news, she's cancer-free and her son's biggest cheerleaders. Darius said she is the sweetest woman you could meet. You just don't want her to get mad. She's tough as nails.
All right, Paul, good story. Purdy completes it, 1st down. Hutchinson on the catch. The Stills brothers also have a younger brother, Deshaun, and their father, Gary, was a great player in West Virginia. Played in the NFL as well for about a decade. Purdy, off play action, quick throw to the sideline. And catch is made by Sean Shaw. During these challenging times, ESPN and the V Foundation's fight against cancer has not stopped. If you're able, please support cancer research by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of what you give goes to cancer research.
You look at these Stills brothers, between the two of them, 23.5 sacks and 51 tackles for losses in their careers. Pretty impressive what they do on that D-line.
Darius is a senior, Dante a junior. Of course, they could come back, so could anybody else. As Hall is able to burst through a hole and get the 1st down up near midfield. Boy, Iowa State is ripping through that West Virginia defense right now.
Great patience here. Charlie Kohler, 88 on the block. Look at him just wait for the block. He waits for Kohler to get in front of him to wall his man off to the outside so he can cut back to the inside. Here's a guy, so Kohler, one of the top tight ends in the country, used to be a blocker there for and blocking for a without question, true Heisman Trophy candidate this year with what Breece Hall has done.
You got Nwangu in the backfield on this play, near midfield. Iowa State, 163 yards of total offense already. As Purdy throws over the middle, incomplete. Hutchinson thought there should have been a flag, and there is. Nick Troy Fortune wrapped him up before the ball arrived. Fortune, a first-year starter. Did start a couple games last year, but first time as a full-time starter. The #1 pass defense in the country coming in.
Defense, number 11. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. And an automatic first down.
And you know,
you saw 5 penalties.
Yeah, you saw him putting his hands on his chest like it was on him. He did. He had contact the whole way there. That was a really an easy call. And as you mentioned, top pass defense in the country though, struggle there, and they're struggling again with penalties.
Yep, 5. Iowa State will run Nwangu, and he's driven to the ground, but it's after a gain of 5 or 6. True freshman Akeem Messidor on the stop.
So we're already seeing the rushing attack being very, very productive here. We've talked about the tight ends blocking. Let's give some love to the offensive line. They were on the Joe Moore midseason honor roll for this Iowa State offensive line. An award for the big guys that never get a whole lot of acknowledgement. This Joe Moore Award is a 350-pound trophy with 5 linemen on it that every old lineman in the country would love to have.
Purdy with time. Everybody covered, so Purdy leaving the pocket. And his pass is caught by Hutchinson inbounds for a first down. Let's go to the studio and Matt.
All right, guys, Capital One fan vote update with the uncertainty surrounding Ohio State and Michigan. Every game big now for Indiana. Remember, Jack Tuttle in for Michael Penix Jr. Touchdown. Peyton Hendershot. Indiana up 7-0 over Wisconsin.
Boy, what a shame there, Dave. Penix being lost for Indiana the year they been having. And you know, again, just as we heard there, we don't know what's going to go on with Ohio State. It's just a shame they lost their quarterback.
First down for Iowa State on the West Virginia 26. Hall trying to find a hole, breaks it to the outside, and tackled after a gain of 2 by Alonzo Adai. Barry Alvarez, the Wisconsin athletic director, said today, look, if Ohio State, Michigan's canceled, we're going to revisit the requirements to play in the Big Ten Championship. I got to think if that game doesn't happen, they're going to find a way to not penalize Ohio State.
Well, they are. I mean, listen, they want a team from their conference in the Final Four. You know, right now, Ohio State with just 4 games, if you don't get to that 6, they wouldn't be eligible for the Big Ten Championship. I could easily, I don't think there's any doubt they're going to change that rule if they get in that situation.
Timeout taken by Iowa State with 1 on the play clock. 14-0 lead for the #9 team in the country, heading to the Big 12 title game for the first time ever. Dave Pasch, Mike Golick, Paul Carcaterra. Time for our Aflac trivia question. How many of Iowa State's 33 head coaches have been named Conference Coach of the Year? Obviously, Matt Campbell has won the award. In fact, he's probably going to win it this year for the 3rd time in the last 4 years.
I think I may know a couple of these. Possibly.
You want to throw one out there, or you want to?
Earl Bruce.
2nd down and 8 inside the 25 of West Virginia. Hall on the carry, wrapped up, hog-tied. Dante Stills.
Stills brothers. Here we go. Brothers meeting at the running back. 1, 2, yeah, there you go. It's about 560 pounds of mean running at you.
Boy, they needed that. Now can they get off the field here on 3rd down? Iowa State, you know, you always wonder with a team that likely is in the championship, you know, would there be a letdown, but also playing with the expectations as Purdy throws it deep here, back shoulder, and it's caught inside the 5. Sean Shaw on the catch, but man, what a throw by Purdy.
Well, and here you go again. Fortune is 6 foot. Sean Shaw is 6'6", and look at the throw, outside shoulder to the out of bounds. Perfect spot for your big guy to go and get it.
He'll go back. Purdy keeping it into the end zone for the touchdown, his 2nd rushing score of the first half. A penalty marker is down.
Well, we'll see what the penalty is, but what an absolute great job of, again, holding the ball in the gut of the running back and completely fooling the outside contain for West Virginia. Let's see.
They're antsy in Ames. They want to know, do we get a touchdown or is it coming back?
Holding. Offense, number 2. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
All right, so that's on Sean Shaw. Just made the catch on the previous play.
Okay, look at the top, number 2. See here, the hands to the outside. And that's the problem. As soon as the defender starts to make a move and you hang on to that, that's exactly what the ref is going to see with your hands outside like that. If you can get your hands inside the breastplate there of the shoulder pads, you can actually get away with it a little better. If that's what you're trying to do.
Still first and goal, but now outside the 10-yard line. This is Breece Hall inside the 5. Another flag is down. Another touchdown on the ground. Is it holding again, though? Just look what they're doing to West Virginia's defense here today, though.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 88.
Wow.
That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
And I was just about to talk up Kohler and what a great block he had there along with the offensive line on that left side especially. But Kohler obviously had a bit of the face mask here. We'll check it out. Bottom left, right? There you're going to see, now it's very difficult for me to see if he had the face mask or not. Obviously the ref is standing right there. There would be no need to be grabbing the face mask there. Just all you had to do is really wall the guy off. But must have been right there. Ref was standing right there. A couple of penalties killing him. 2 times in the end zone, 2, all of a sudden you're on the 26-yard line at first and goal.
West Virginia missed a field goal. And it looked like Iowa State was going to be up 21-0 in full control of this game. Now first and goal from their 26. Purdy looking, throwing it downfield. Wide open is Hutchinson inside the 10. So it'll be second and goal from about the 8-yard line.
Such a great job of Purdy moving the pocket, knowing when he rolls that way, that's where everybody's flooding. You got a short route, you got a mid-range route, and you got a guy in the end zone. And the middle route was the one that broke wide open. Now I think you're going to see a nice, healthy run here.
Yeah, they got all the way down to the 5 on that play from their 25-yard line.
There are 3 tight ends in the game. 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, and they'll use them all.
Give it to Hall. Powers his way down to the 2. Stopped by Chandler Samito, who's been battling injury. Now it's a huge 3rd down and goal for West Virginia's defense. We're inside 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Get a timeout called by West Virginia. That will leave the Mountaineers with 2. Iowa State on the doorstep again. 3rd and goal when we come back. Tonight on ABC from Blacksburg, Trevor Lawrence and number 3 Clemson taking on Virginia Tech with their coverage starting at 7:30 on ABC and the ESPN app. Clemson number 3 in the college football playoff rankings. Iowa State is number 9. 2 losses on the year for the Cyclones. One of those was week 1 against number 25 Louisiana, which beat App State last night. 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. Looking to go up 21-0 here. Purdy on the rollout, wide open. The catch is made for the touchdown by Landon Akers.
Well, there's one of those seniors getting a touchdown as his first touchdown this year. He's a guy, and in his career, has averaged 15.7 yards per catch. I bet this short one never felt so good. Look at that. You got to love that. I mean, when you're sending the seniors off and you can have a celebration like that, that's just awesome, man. That's what it's all about.
And he's a 6th-year senior.
Yeah.
It is 21-0. Iowa State already clinched a spot in the Big 12 championship game, trying to keep slim college football playoff hopes alive, and they're doing a number on a really good defense right now.
I can't tell you how impressed I am right now with them, Dave. 228 total yards. They're over 100 yards rushing. Brock Purdy has only had 2 incompletions on the day. They're very efficient. The offensive line and tight ends are controlling the line in the running game. Breece Hall is showing why he's a Heisman candidate in the way he runs the ball. All against, like you said, an incredible defense. So this is a bit surprising. And now West Virginia in a position not getting very close, if not there, where you start to get out of your game plan to say, okay, we're going to have to hustle up. By the way, Iowa State gets the ball at the start of the second half.
Yep. All right, let's answer the Aflac trivia question. You were right on the 33 head coaches who've been named conference coach of the year. You said Earl Bruce, Johnny Majors in 71, and Dan McCarney in 04. But Matt Campbell likely to win it in 2020. That'd be 3 times in 4 years. And then the question that a lot of people want to know is, will he even be in contention to win it next year? Meaning, will he still be at Iowa State, or will he be somewhere else in the Big 12, or maybe somewhere in the Big 10? Good return by Wright out across the 30-yard line. Let's go to the studio and Matt.
All right, guys, coming up on the Lexus halftime report, Ohio State was back. We'll have highlights of the Buckeyes and their return to action. Plus, Florida and Tennessee locked in a good one. Florida looks sloppy today against the Volunteers. Highlights of that. Plus, Notre Dame struggling a little bit with Syracuse. We'll have highlights of that and more. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway joining me on the Lexus halftime report.
And thank you, Matt. Iowa State rooting for Florida to lose, obviously.
Yeah, you mentioned about Matt Campbell. Listen, I get it. That's part of it. But, well, I tell you how happy the Iowa State players, fans, alumni, boosters have to be at what they're seeing right now. And no doubt they want this guy to be their coach for a while.
And West Virginia running the ball with Alex Sinkfield into the game. And a short pickup. You're right. I mean, look, it's a time to celebrate what Campbell has been able to do, but with that comes questions about the future. And you know, it's not like those things were 10-15 years ago, even when, I mean, Matt Campbell's making over $3 million a year reportedly, and yes, you could make more than that elsewhere, but you know, it's not like in some of these schools you made 1.2 or 1.4 10-15 years ago, and you could take a job for 5 or 6 mil. Deggy in trouble here on 2nd and 7, and sacked by Jaquan Bailey. There's just not as big of a discrepancy in terms of coaching salaries like we used to have.
What a play here. Will McDonald first calls it at the top, number 9. He's the one that makes Deggy pull it down and have to try and run away. So he starts it, and then Bailey finishes it. It's his 7th sack on the year, and that was a little teamwork there. That's when you go over and say, thanks, Will. Appreciate you making the quarterback pull it down a little bit.
Bailey making his 47th career start. 5th-year senior, 2-time All Big 12. A timeout called here with a couple on the play clock. 3rd down and 11 coming up. West Virginia will have 1 timeout remaining.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
And
I know, Mike.
Yeah, you know, you're right. Going back to Matt Campbell, I get it. And I'm sure, again, Iowa State people don't want to hear about this, but it's a reality. When you turn around a program, and look what Matt Rule, from Temple to Baylor to the NFL. I mean, it's just what comes with the territory. And then it comes down to, what does that coach want to do? And you're 100% correct where a coach doesn't have to jump at any opportunity. They can say, you know, okay, you wait for something that's really big, or you just say, you know what, I love what I'm doing here. I love the culture I built here. We can keep this as to one of the powers in the Big 12, and I can keep going. So the options are going to be there because of how well you're doing, and then it comes down to what's inside that coach's head and heart on what they want to do.
3rd down and 11 for West Virginia from its 31-yard line, trying to get some points here at the end of the half, but also trying not to kick it back to a hot Iowa State offense. Deggy goes down again. This time it was McDonald, which forced Deggy into Bailey on the last play. This time McDonald actually gets the quarterback.
So again, coming around the corner on Brandon Yates, the left tackle here. You're going to see it right there. Yates, there's McDonald. Nothing more than just beating him around the edge. You get that offensive lineman to open up instead of that 45-degree step when all of a sudden they step backward and open up. They call that like the gate opening up. Makes it so much easier for that rip move and that end to just come right around the corner and get, if not the sack, pressure on the quarterback.
Wise timeout by Iowa State. So West Virginia will punt with 1:11 on the clock, and the Cyclones will have around a minute, yet no timeouts. But the way this offense is humming right now, they're getting a lot of chunk plays. They have plenty of time to get in field goal range.
As we said, plenty of time for a field goal, and then, Dave, they get the ball in the second half. I mean, you want to talk about really trying to start driving those nails in the coffin home, score at the end of the half, get the ball in the third quarter, and do it again. I mean, this is what this team's doing. I'm sure by now, somehow, some way, they may have found out they're already in the Big 12 championship game. But you know, I'm sure as every coach and every player is saying, it's senior day. Let's finish for those guys. Let's show the country what we can do and how good of a team we are.
You saw Iowa State week 1. You did that game against Louisiana when they lost. How much better are the Cyclones now?
So much better. And after this punt, I'll get into what Matt Campbell talked about with that first game.
Sumter to boot it to Milton. And Milton from inside his 25 cannot get away from a West Virginia gunner. Tackled by Bonamico. Iowa State.
Yeah.
You talked about this game. You were there. You watched it happen.
Boy, look what they did since then. I mean, first time ever they beat Oklahoma and Texas in the same year. What they were able to do.
Missed field goal late by Texas. First time in program history beating both those schools in the same season. First time beating Oklahoma in Ames since 1960. Purdy gets rid of it right before he gets drilled, but not much there for Breece Hall, and tackled inbounds. They don't have a timeout.
And you know, Matt Campbell wasn't going to make excuses about that first game. He said, you know, in a game like that, no fans. First game, he felt like it was a scrimmage with no fans. He talked about having to dictate their own momentum. It was a tough environment. But again, he wasn't using it as an excuse. He said Louisiana just did it better and handled everything better than we did that day. Without question, because there was so much talk. I know I talked up Brock Purdy from the year before on the year he was going to have, and they looked anything but like what they looked like today in that first game.
So it looks like Iowa State here taking all this time off the clock and just handing it off to Nwangu. Matt Campbell feels pretty good about a 21-0 lead. He'd rather not take a chance of turning it over deep in his own territory and just run out the half here.
Yeah, especially when you know you're getting the ball in the second half. Exactly.
That was impressive. Iowa State in the Big 12 title game. Opponent not known yet. Right now, the Cyclones look like they could beat just about anybody they could play in that Big 12 championship game. Let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
Guys, thank you. Good first half.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by Tide. From Ames, Iowa, the 9th-ranked Cyclones of Iowa State leading West Virginia 21-0 as we get ready to start the second half. I'm Dave Pasch in Arizona. Mike Golick is in Bristol. Paul Carcaterra is on site. Well, Mike, we talked about this fifth-year senior laden group, and they're not acting as if there are any sort of nerves regarding this possible historic day for Iowa State getting into the Big 12 championship game for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big question because when the game started, they didn't know they were going to be in. They knew they had a good chance. So how would they react to that? And while all they've done is shown dominant defense, holding West Virginia just 101 total yards, and offensively incredibly efficient between the run and the pass and the blocking of the O-line. They are in complete control of this game, and they are basically taking West Virginia out of their game plan right now.
Yeah, West Virginia 4th in total defense, giving up 274 yards a game. Iowa State with 236 already. Brock Purdy only 2 incompletions. One of those was a drop, and we're going to see Purdy here momentarily. Nwangu on the kick return. And he's thrown down at the 22-yard line. Here's Paul.
Well, Dave, I just caught up with Neil Brown, and he is discouraged, obviously, not being able to put any points up offensively. He said on that side of the ball, they have to stretch Iowa State because Iowa State's been so good in the trenches and tackling really well. Defensively, though, he feels like they're just getting owned at the line of scrimmage. He said his front is getting whooped right now, and they really need to step up and match the physicality of Iowa State. And Mike, I know that you've been impressed all game long with the boys in black.
They're controlling it, man. Those who control the line normally control the game.
Purdy fires to Hutchinson, knocked out of bounds after a gain of 9 by Drayshawn Miller. And to Paul's point about that defensive line getting owned, that's remarkable considering how fresh they are. They haven't played a game in 3 weeks.
I'm surprised. And again, just what they've done all year, they've been playing really well. This has been a very tough, fast, aggressive defense all year long. And this one, they're just, listen, I mean, it's a position I played on the D-line. It's you against another guy, you know, for 70, 80 snaps. And right now it's going Iowa State's way.
Breece Hall, and he's driven down, did not get the first down. Good pursuit to the football by Tony Fields and Akeem Messidor. That looked a lot more like the West Virginia defense we've seen most of the year, third down.
Well, that did. We've talked about Tony Fields, the leading tackler in the Big 12, just under 10 a game. And you talk about the future of West Virginia, Akeem Messidor, a true freshman. At 6'2", 268 pounds, they absolutely love this kid and say he's just basically playing on pure ability right now, where Fields has been, as we mentioned, years starting at Arizona. A lot of veteran leadership in him.
Iowa State is 6 of 7 on third down, Mike. 3rd and 1 here for the Cyclones. West Virginia stacking the box. Hall, very patient, finds the hole and appears to have a first down.
Well, you got one ref coming in that had the first down, another ref coming in had it before the yellow line. So, again, because we're not there and we can't see what's going on all the time, I don't know which ref they gave it to spot. Because one was definitely coming up past the line, the other before the line.
But short, 4th down.
So the one ref coming up before the line, that's obviously who they gave the ball to spot.
Well, they can review this with respect to the first down, but they're going to punt it. Sinkfield is deep. First punt today forced by West Virginia's defense. Sinkfield on the run. Makes a man miss at the 40. Dropped at the 42, but that's pretty good starting field position for West Virginia. Gary Vaughn on the stop there at special teams for Iowa State. See, he was looking good today, brought to you by DXL.
Well, what this Iowa State defense has done to the running game, and then having 2 sacks today, one by Quan Bailey, the other by Will McDonald. I mean, they have been fantastic on defense. And remember what we said at the beginning of the game. In their wins, 210 yards rushing. Their losses, 67. Today, just 13 yards rushing on 14 carries. They have just absolutely been stoned.
And they've done nothing on first down today. Off play action here, though, they get about 6 yards as the catch is made by Sean Ryan. They're averaging about 2 yards per first down play coming in.
So again, we look at these, and it's going to get now. I mean, they're down 21-0. So you'll see if they start to pass a little more. But if they're able to do that and back off the defense a bit, maybe they can keep that running game going. Right now, you have an empty backfield, though.
All it takes is one scoring drive here, and they're back in the ballgame. So they go out of the pistol here on 2nd and 3. That's Winston Wright in motion. They fake it to him. And Deggy on the rollout. It's caught by Ryan at the Iowa State 40-yard line for a first down.
What a great catch by Ryan. Again, another one of these rollouts where you have the short route and the medium route. Watch Ryan as he's getting hit. They're trying to hit him out of bounds. He gets that foot down, that left foot down, just in time, as Datron Young is trying to drive him out of bounds. Well done.
West Virginia down 2 wide receivers today. Ford Wheaton and Sam James not available for this game, so Esdale and Ryan getting a lot of targets. As Deggy throws it downfield, single coverage on a jump ball, incomplete. Winston Wright could not get free of Greg Eisworth in the secondary. It'll be second down and 10.
And listen, I'm glad there was no flag there. There shouldn't have been. Both guys looking at the ball, both guys with hands on each other trying to get the ball. Just good play defensively all the way around. Now second and 10.
West Virginia plays Oklahoma next week in Morgantown. That game was supposed to be played last week, but postponed due to COVID. West Virginia had a bye week November 21st, so they have not played since beating TCU November 14th. Second down and 10. Deggy from the pocket. Incomplete. Thrown in traffic. Sam Brown, a true freshman, the intended target. Third down and 10. There was pressure that time by Jaquan Bailey.
And you're getting the pressure on the outside, so he's having that internal clock in Deggy's head has to be going, knowing that's where the pressure's coming from. The outside rushers between Will McDonald and Bailey have been the two guys that have really been able to turn the corner, so that clock has to be working in Deggy's head.
Deggy's brother Seth played at Texas Tech. Jarrett's dad, a longtime high school coach. Third down and 10. And the junior quarterback from Lubbock dumps it off here to Letty Brown. Stiff arm by Brown. Knocked out of bounds, close to the first down.
No, he ended up
have stepped out when he caught the ball.
Yeah, well, he did. When he stiff armed Eisworth, he did a nice job with it, but after he did it, he ended up stepping out of bounds as it made him go a little wider. You'll see the left foot right there, out of bounds. Good 7 yards now short of the first down, 6 yards.
And West Virginia will go for it. Do you agree with this decision here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 37-yard line, yes, without question. Going in.
Down 21-0.
Yep.
Deggy's pass is caught but short. Simmons was hit. Had no chance to get the first down. Did not run the route deep enough, it would appear, to get past the marker. Eisworth with the hit.
Okay, this is for every level of football 101. If you're running a route that has you turning back to the ball on a third and whatever in this situation, 6, you've got to go to the sticks. That's on the receiver. Simmons, he's got to be at the sticks when he catches that ball, so he has the first down. Lesson learned, and he will learn as we be back momentarily. Iowa State up 21-0.
You're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Iowa State has clinched a spot in the Big 12 championship game for the first time in program history. And they lead 21-0 against West Virginia. Purdy chased out of the pocket, dumps it off to Breece Hall, slips a tackle at the 35, and close to a first down at the 41. 8 of 9 on the play. College Football Award Spotlight Thursday, January 7th on ESPN. Home Depot featuring Breece Hall. I'm going to give it to him here on second and short. Able to push the pile, and it looks like he's got a first down.
You know, and Iowa State's still running that off. They're running a tempo offense, up 21-0. They're doing what they need to do, their thing. And for Breece Hall, we know he has a tie. He came into today tied with Najee Harris from Alabama with the second most points in the NCAA with 102. Javonte Williams came into today from North Carolina with 108. So he's up to 108 now. I know Williams had a touchdown for North Carolina. So he's scoring a lot of points. He's doing everything well this year.
Hall again, making a defender miss initially, but then dragged down by Exree Lowe. No gain on the play. He's had 100 yards in every game but one this year. That was last week against Texas. Had just 91 in that game. Now his breakout game was against West Virginia a year ago. Really the first time he got a legitimate number of carries. The first few games he wasn't touching it often, but then against the Mountaineers last year, he rushed for 132 yards and 3 touchdowns. And since then, he's been phenomenal. Came in number 2 in the country. Penalty marker down in rushing yards.
Prior to the snap, False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, you look at my Heisman guy, obviously quarterbacks are going to be there, and all these quarterbacks are having phenomenal years. Justin Fields, I mean, it's just tough with just 4 games at this point. And Breece Hall, he deserves to be on this list. He deserves, well, I know they're not doing the invites this year, not going to be there, but he deserves to be in that group. And I know it's difficult for a running back, though we have seen it's usually a running back and quarterback lean heavy to the quarterback, but he deserves to be in that conversation for the year he's had.
Sophomore to Wichita, Kansas. After the 5-yard penalty, Purdy will throw on 2nd down and 15, and dumping it off for a short gain. Maybe only a pickup of 1 on the play by Ryan. The defense there checked that Porter on the catch. Darian Porter made the catch, and an immediate tackle by Chandler Samadu.
Well, after the first half, Dave, where it was 21 points for Iowa State, this is now the 2nd drive for Iowa State. They had to punt on their first drive, something they hadn't done, and now West Virginia is a play away from getting off the field again and giving their offense a chance.
3rd and 14. Purdy has to step up, and he'll keep it. And tackled out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Low on the stop.
That wasn't a 3rd and 5. That was a 3rd and 14. That was going to be a little tougher to get after the reaction from West Virginia. So West Virginia defense has stepped up a couple of first 2 times here in the second half. Offense has got to make something happen if they're going to get back in this game.
And it's really the same issue for West Virginia offensively as it has been in their other losses. The inability to run the football. Jared Deggy's a talented guy, but needs to be supported by a quality run game to really have a shot. 2nd punt for Iowa State today. Both have come here in the 3rd. We'll see where they spot that one. It was not a good kick, obviously. West Virginia's going to have it at its 35-yard line. See if the Mountaineer offense can do anything after a 17-yard punt by Iowa State.
ESPN College Football is presented by Tide. If it's got to be a clean you can trust, it's got to be Tide Hygienic Clean. And in part by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen.
It's UFC in Vegas tonight on ESPN2. In the middleweight main event, the number 4 contender, the Joker, Jack Hermanson, is looking for a title shot, but the Italian Dream, Marvin Vettori, stands in his way. Prelims start at 7 p.m. Eastern with a main card on 10. ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN2 app.
Thank you, Paul. Play action, and Deggy pitching it. Letty Brown, he lost yardage. Not the way you want to start a drive. Let's go back to Paul.
I'll tell you one guy that I would love to see in the octagon, if I had my pick of anyone on this field, to be linebacker Mike Rose. This kid's compete level is off the charts. And Tyson Veit, the linebackers coach, went to recruit Mike Rose in Ohio. He was a Ball State commit. He said he never saw a player play so hard on the field. Every single play, 110%. The long hair, he's jacked. This guy's made for the octagon, Mike Golick.
I love that, because I'm not stepping in the octagon. Love to go watch him.
Here's Sean Ryan with a head of steam, picks up the first down. Well, Mike Rose, he's the guy, when you look at that Iowa State team, he's a big reason why they're here. I mean, just a guy that wasn't highly recruited, but has become a big-time player. 36 consecutive starts now.
Well, Matt Campbell said about him, I don't think there's anyone playing better in our sport right now. Said every time we'd call him during quarantine, he was working out.
West Virginia moving the ball. Play action. Deggy on the run. And the pass is incomplete. Trying to hit Mike O'Loughlin, the tight end, who had to adjust. Could not come up with it.
Yeah, got to make the plays. So now you look at this West Virginia defense. The first 2 drives have looked like the West Virginia defense we've been used to. They've given the ball to their offense on the 41-yard line. They did nothing. And now the 35-yard line in this current drive. The defense has done their job twice. and helping out the offense here. Now the offense has got to be able to put something consistently together.
A little surprised they've gone away from the run, just 13 rushing yards, but got to stay balanced. You got enough time, a quarter and a half. They'll throw it again, though, on first down. Deggy in trouble and sacked. Will McDonald having a field day. Came in with 6.5 sacks on the year.
So again, this is on Brandon Yates, a guy that was forced to play as a redshirt freshman a little early. You go up right up here again. All he does is just turns the corner. Nothing fancy at all. Watch the tackle. Just going to open up. As soon as that left leg steps back and he opens up, now he's perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. That makes it so much easier for the better athlete and the faster player in McDonald there to make the play.
Now it's 3rd down and 16 after the 3rd sack for Iowa State's defense. Deggy with a long pass. It's caught inside the 25 by Winston Wright. One of the biggest offensive plays of the day for the Mountaineers, as Wright, the sophomore receiver, number 2 in the conference in catches per game, comes up with it.
Look, that time they chipped the end with Letty Brown to give his quarterback a little more time, and he threw a beautiful pass in there as we have an Iowa State player down. I believe it's Anthony Johnson.
It is Johnson shaken up. Inside 6 to play in the 3rd. West Virginia on the move when we come back.
Something to believe. ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
4 weeks from yesterday, the college football playoff national semifinals. Will Iowa State be there? It's not out of the realm of possibility. The number 9 Cyclones, if they win the Big 12 championship game, they've advanced to the title game for the first time ever. And they get some help in front of them, they'll be in the conversation. First down for West Virginia on the move here. Deggy with a pass to the sideline that's over the head of the tight end Mike O'Loughlin, incomplete.
So we'll see if West Virginia, again, there's still time, 5 minutes left in the 3rd. Still looking. By the way, they're looking for their first score on Iowa State since the first half of last year's game. I mean, that is just amazing. But, we saw them in the first half down in the red zone, and then they penalized their way back out of it before a missed field goal. And they have to start making these drives pay off.
So what they just did here, they brought another quarterback in the game. They brought Garrett Green in the game here, but Deggy is still on the field. Green isn't even listed as the backup quarterback, so he's obviously out there to run the ball. And he picks up about 8 yards. They've been trying to find a way to get back to the run game. They had 13 yards as a team before that play that just went for close to 8.
Green, 5'11", 192-pound freshman from Tallahassee. Usually when they're bringing someone in like that, it's going to be a run like that. And ends up picking up some decent yardage here to make it 3rd and very, very manageable in a situation where, you're in 4-down territory anyway.
No question. Down 3 scores, 5-minute mark of the 3rd. So Deggy is back in shotgun now for 3rd down and 3, and he'll throw it. In traffic, incomplete. Boy, there were 2 West Virginia players in the same spot and 3 Iowa State defenders.
Yeah,
I guess Sam Brown was the intended receiver.
And listen, if there's 2 receivers like that close to one another, somebody's doing something wrong. Because that's not supposed to happen. Because you know what it brings? The other color jersey. As you mentioned, they had 3 defenders there for 2 receivers. That was a mess. And that's a place you can't go with the ball.
West Virginia forced to go for it on 4th down. 0 for 1 today. Have to get to the 24-yard line. And they'll throw it. Deggy in trouble. Gets rid of the pass, and it's dropped. It would have been a first down, but Simmons couldn't hang on. And Iowa State takes over on downs.
Wow, Deggy did a really nice job keeping that play alive. Got rushed from the outside, stepped up and out. Still had a defender by him and put the pass right there. This is all on Simmons. Right in his hands. Secure the ball before you run. Wow.
That's been happening all year. West Virginia receivers, 22 drop passes on the year in the top 10 in terms of most in college football.
Wow. That is going to hurt you.
So that's the 2nd time West Virginia has turned it over on downs inside the Iowa State 38-yard line. Play fake, Purdy. Finds Kohler out of the backfield, dragging a defender with him. And Tony Fields called for a penalty here, trying to drag down the 6'6", 257-pound tight end.
I mean, I just can't tell you enough about the tight ends and the receivers.
Personal foul, host collar tackle, defense, number 1. The penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
You know, there's some frustration there as well. You saw him trying to hold Fields back. He's a competitive guy. You see the catch there. Grabbing right there and pulling back on the back of his jersey. I didn't think it was all that bad, but look at the height between the tight ends and the wide receivers. It is ridiculous. And 5'11" average for the starting DBs for West Virginia.
Hall moving the pile inside the 40. And Charlie Kohler's a pretty good athlete. He was an excellent high school basketball player in Norman, Oklahoma. Played on the same team as Trey Young, now starring with the Atlanta Hawks.
First player in Iowa State history, was an All-American football player and academic All-American last year.
Go back to Hall after an 8-yard run. Look at him follow the quarterback. Purdy through the hole. Inside the 20, and then scoots out of play around the 15-yard line.
Yeah. We're talking so much about patience, but look at the line in front of him. This time it's going to be 72 Remsburg down on Fields, getting to the second level. He's not getting touched till 3, 4, 5 yards down the field. That's a whole lot of that offensive line up front.
That was a 21-yard run. Now he trips and falls down. Looked like he stepped on the foot of the left tackle, Sean Foster. Again, hard to tell from my house, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah. It looked like there was some penetration there, and then he tripped over the foot. But, you know, listen, I love watching him run. The patience, he is just fantastic. But maybe it's because I had a son who was an O lineman, even though I think that's the wrong side of the ball. Me as a D lineman, I love what this offensive line is doing. Again, midseason honor roll for the Joe Moore Award, and they're getting the job done for their running backs.
Purdy, play fake, looking, rolling to the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Kohler pulls it in, and there's a flag.
So we'll see who it's on. Kohler again at 6'6", Alonzo Adai 5'11". That's when your quarterback says, you know what, there's a guy on you, I'm throwing it because I think my guy's going to be able to get the ball over you. And that's exactly what happened.
Pass interference, defense, number 4. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
So this is what you see. Your quarterback's looking at matchups, and he sees the matchups outside. Okay, I got a shorter guy on my taller guy, which is almost across the board for him. Kohler ends up making a one-handed catch with his left hand because he's being interfered with. He's that good. But that's just a quarterback knowing I got that matchup there won.
5th touchdown of the season, 15th of Kohler's career. 2 touchdown passes for Purdy, and the extra point makes it 28-0 Iowa State. Career receptions by a tight end, number 95 for Kohler. That's the most in program history.
Just, again, a nice job. Quarterback looking at his matchups. Nothing fancy going to the end zone at all. And Adai just got a hold of him. Said, it's the only way I can do anything. He's not even really looking back for the ball, just trying to corral Kohler up. Kohler just sticks his left paw out there and traps the ball against his body. There's got to be such a high frustration level, Dave, for this West Virginia defense. Again, this is a defense that has been playing excellent for just about the entire year. They had a couple of good stops the first 2 drives of this half, but they have to be a frustrating group for how good they've played and what's happening to them today.
Well, I think it also, for Iowa State, it helps you in the eyes of the committee. If it gets to a point where you're in the conversation for the college football playoff, to do to West Virginia what no one's done to them this year, I mean, that speaks volumes. Yeah, don't know if it'll be enough, but it's certainly going to help your case. Winston Wright for the Mountaineers going the long way on the return here. But it was the right way. Past the 30. Well, coming up tomorrow, Sunday NFL Countdown. Seattle superstars Russell Wilson and Sue Bird go one-on-one. Plus, Randy Moss ranking the best catches from this week's college football action. And you got mossed. Kick off your Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Never want to be on the receiving end of the "you got mossed," you know. You don't want to be on the highlight reel the wrong way. That guy spends a lot of time on the highlight reel the right way. Guy's going to do very well on Sundays. If he chooses to head out this year, be one of the top tight ends going in the draft if he goes.
He's a junior. Could come back if he wants. So could everybody. West Virginia now runs the ball here with Sinkfield, and Iowa State's all over it. Jake Hummel leading the way for the Cyclone defense.
I mean, just think about what this Iowa State defense has done. Now, they've beaten West Virginia the last 2 years, and in both those years, they have held West Virginia under 200 total yards. I think West Virginia will go over that today. They have 167 now with still a whole quarter to go, but they can't get anything going, and when they do, Iowa State either makes a play or West Virginia shoots themselves in their own foot.
2nd down and 8. Deggy setting up, stepping up, throwing it deep. Receiver is open, but over the head of the intended target, Winston Wright.
Well, he's going to know he's got to make that play. He's got Wright finding that hole where the hole is in the zone. Deggy trying to drop it right in there, just overthrown a bit. We've seen a couple of big plays out of them today, Dave. What, a 26-yarder, a 25-yarder, but for the most part, it's been some overthrows, some misthrows, certainly some drops as well, and a very, very tough Iowa State defense led by its pass rush.
And if you're waiting for Iowa State to have a breakdown in coverage, it's probably not happening. They're so sound. Here's a deep ball on 3rd down and 8, and the intended receiver was Sean Ryan, but he had a defender step for step with him. Datrone Young, it's 4th down.
And that was really weird how that ball came out of Deggy's hand on that one. Not shockingly, probably because of the pressure. See the inside move that time. He was able to throw. It gets hit right after the throw. Bailey gets the hit. But yeah, that ball didn't look like it had very good flight on it.
So Brock Purdy has completed his last 11 passes, 2 for touchdowns. He's going to get the ball back here with his team in command at the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Milton is deep, and the fair catch made at the 22-yard line. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Nighttime in Ames. Iowa State on its way to the Big 12 title game and about to improve to 8-2 on the year. Will await either Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, or Texas. Oklahoma plays Baylor, and with a win, the Sooners would be in. Look at the hot streak for Purdy. Started 4 of 6. And actually, I think with the losses by Oklahoma State and West Virginia, Oklahoma's in before they even play Baylor. Over the middle, 1st down catch by Sean Shaw.
And speaking of Oklahoma, Brock Purdy is the first quarterback in school history to beat all the conference opponents, and the last one to take care of was Oklahoma. So when he was in there when they beat Oklahoma, he's beaten every Big 12 opponent. As you mentioned, he just tied or has 24 school records. I mean, it's been amazing.
Breece Hall, he runs into Stills, gain of maybe 1.
You know, Mike and Dave, I hear you talking about Breece Hall's patience. I spoke to him this week, and I asked him to self-scout himself. He said his greatest traits, patience, balance, and his competitive fire. And Mike, I think you'll think this is interesting. He's the cousin of Roger Craig, who was the 1988 offensive MVP in the NFL, and they have a great relationship. Against him in the past as well.
Purdy in trouble. Able to get away from a defender. Throws back across the middle to Hall for a 1st down into West Virginia territory.
Wow, Akeem Mesidor had him in his sights. Absolutely had him in his sights. And Purdy does a great job getting around and look at the right hand of your screen. There's Mesidor, the true freshman. Purdy does a great job breaking out. Paul, to finish your story, just like Breece Hall, I probably would have missed tackling him. I missed Roger Craig many a time in my career.
and think how good Craig was as a receiver, too.
Oh, yeah.
And Breece Hall's pretty good as a pass catcher. Could be better. That's one area they want him to work on, but got 16 catches on the year. Here's his backup, Nwangu. He's going to take it to the house. It's 34-0 Iowa State.
Untouched, and when this guy hits the open field, he is gone. He is the kick return man for this team, and he has broken off some big ones there. He has got speed to burn, and that was about as straight ahead a run, Dave, as you could possibly have. So again, great credit to that O-line right in front of him.
Now Breece Hall's the star, but when the coaches talk about the leader on the team, they point to Nwangu, and that's nothing against Hall. It's just that Nwangu is a guy that, even though he's not the guy, he's very much a vocal leader in that locker room, and everybody follows him. So I know his teammates and coaches are very happy to see him get a 47-yard touchdown, potentially his final game in Ames.
Look at the first. We'll take a look at the blocking up front. The guys in front that are getting the job done. The linemen, including the tight ends. Look at that, not touched. And then the burst of speed, no shot at catching this guy. Now it's just how quick is he going to get to the end zone. Untouched, up the middle run. You do not see that. You don't see that a ton, Dave, unless you're in short yardage and everybody's up on the line. Here you have 3 levels, and he was absolutely untouched. Great job, West Virginia.
And a West Virginia defense, Mike, that gives up 18 points per game, and Iowa State has doubled that and almost 200 rushing yards today.
To even add to that, West Virginia defense, again, tops in the league, give up 274 yards of offense a game. There's a whole quarter to go, and Iowa State just went over 400 yards.
They are celebrating in Ames. An 8-1 record in conference play, best in the history of the program. Their first Big 12 regular season championship since 1912, when they were in the Missouri Valley and they played only 2 conference games 108 years ago. His right is tackled shy of the 20-yard line. And now a date with, it looks like, Oklahoma in the Big 12 title game.
Derek Schweiger, there you go. Cutting a rug. That's better dancing. But it's always great to see a 300-pounder dance. And Dave, I go back to something you said before, and I agree. You know what else? Who else this is really going to impress? Got to be the committee, right? The college playoff committee, to see what they're doing, to know how good West Virginia defense was and what this offense is doing, and obviously what Iowa State's defense is doing as well. This is while it's a lot of fun at senior day, they're in the Big 12 championship, there's no doubt they're sending a great message.
Big hole for Lenny Brown. Gain of close to 20 before he's knocked down on the final play of the third quarter. Iowa State dominant today. Kohler getting interfered with 4 different times, has still caught the ball. They've also been able to run right between the tackles and gash that Mountaineer defense. Normally good, but not today, giving them 35. ESPN College Football is presented by Tide. Iowa State up 35-0 on West Virginia as we start the fourth quarter. Dave Pasch in Arizona, Mike Golick in Bristol, Connecticut. Paul Carcaterra is in Ames for the final quarter of this one, with Lenny Brown getting the carry. And he lowers the shoulder on the defender, picks up the first down, a gain of about 12 for Lenny Brown. Been quiet along with just about everybody on that Mountaineer offense today.
Yeah, Brown was just 40 yards today, but again, he's one of many who have been quiet on that offense. Still trying to get anything going at this point. Could be way too little too late.
And it seems like, too, as Brown gets 5 or 6 yards, it's a little late to go to the run game as there's a flag down. I know they were struggling to run the ball. It seems like they got away from it, though, Mike.
I agree. I would have thought earlier they would keep running. Now they go to the run. I agree with you. I thought it would have flip-flopped a little bit as we have a player down, Michael Laughlin, the tight end. And then we also have to wait and see what the flag is.
Illegal substitution on the defense. There were 12 players on the field at the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down. Timeout on the field for an injured player.
With O'Loughlin out, they really don't have any tight ends left. T.J. Banks not available. Jackson Knipper will likely get some work at tight end if O'Loughlin can't return.
ESPN College Football is presented by Tide. If it's got to be a clean you can trust, it's got to be Tide Hygienic Clean. And in part by Cars.com, everybody can score this weekend. Find your perfect car match online.
Well, the last time Iowa State was in first place with a game left was 1976. That day they lost to Oklahoma State. Fast forward 44 years, a lot different result. Cyclones are in the Big 12 title game, and they have played a near-perfect game today. On 1st and 5, deep ball, Deggy overthrown. Penalty marker is down, though, on the pass intended for Reese Smith.
That was a flag thrown not on where the ball ended up, but before that.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
So that's on Lawrence White. What I'm interested in here, Dave, because I've been in this position, the game within the game down to the sidelines. The D coordinator for Iowa State, John Haycock, just lit his team up during that last break. And I get it. You're playing great, and then you start to get gashed a little bit, and he just jumped them. So I'm going to be real interested to see how these guys finish up this drive.
Letty Brown. And again, that's a good chunk on the ground on first down, which is probably one of the things Haycock wasn't happy about the last time we saw him yelling at his team.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Because they were running the ball. They could do nothing on the ground against him for the first 3 quarters.
I mean, they have 52 yards rushing, and we've seen 3 rushes right here that have covered easily over 20 yards of that to 30 yards of that.
On 2nd and 3, again, Brown is the ball carrier, gets the first down inside the 20-yard line.
Listen, and while it's burning time, I get it. Right now, this is their best offense. They're not throwing the ball well at all. Between drops and overthrows, the passing game isn't doing a whole lot today either. So right now, this is their best offense.
Brown bounces off, I think, his own guy, an offensive lineman. He's cut down in the backfield by Aisheem Young. All right, let's go to Matt Berry in the studio and get an update on what's going on with BYU.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, gentlemen, went 17 plays, 94 yards in 9 minutes and 5 seconds. C.J. Marable, the touchdown. Right now, missed extra point, 6-0 Coastal over BYU.
17 plays, over 90 yards. I love watching their version of the option and what they do off of it. They are a ton of fun to watch.
I just love the fact that that game was played on such short notice. Here's a screen to Esdale. Stretches forward inside the 15-yard line.
You talk about how quickly you start preparing for your next opponent. These guys didn't find out till Wednesday. And I mean, that is not a lot of time to start breaking down and learning a brand new opponent. So, but listen, this is 2020, man. You got to get those games. Both those teams know it.
At BYU, if it can win that game, that should help in the eyes of the College Football Playoff Committee, which a lot of people feel haven't shown BYU the respect that they should get. Ranked 13th. Deggy into the end zone. Incomplete. It was intended for Winston Wright, and Lawrence White, who got flagged for pass interference a couple plays ago, was in there defensively. It's 4th down.
Lawrence White, guy who's made 28 starts, just a great veteran play here. Seeing the route, running the route, just getting that hand in there, eye on the ball, offhand, nowhere to be found to get yourself in trouble. That's where most defensive backs get in trouble on plays like that, with the offhand. Perfectly done by Lawrence White.
And I guess Neil Brown saying, you know what, we're probably going to lose, but we don't want to get shut out. So let's at least throw the field goal team out there for a 32-yarder instead of going for it on 4th and 7. And the Mountaineers are on the board with 12 minutes to go in the 4th, but down 32.
Find out who's in the CFP. 13 committee members will announce the 4 playoff teams during the selection show. Those playoff teams will face off in back-to-back semifinal games on New Year's Day.
4 weeks from yesterday, Friday, January 1st, the College Football Playoff National Semifinals. Our All-State playoff predictor, Alabama, basically a sure thing. Ohio State, although, again, who knows if they're even going to have a game next week against Michigan. They throttled Michigan State today. Notre Dame, Clemson, both looking good. And then you look at the 2 group of 5 teams with the best chance. Cincinnati 35% and BYU 23%. Cincinnati still has to play Tulsa on the road next week, maybe play them twice in the American Conference title game. And then that BYU Coastal Carolina game obviously is big. Battle of ranked teams there. Short kickoff fielded on the 25-yard line. So Iowa State up 35-3. Dave Pasch in Arizona, Mike Golick in Bristol, Paul Carcaterra in Ames. Mike, as we showed you that playoff predictor, anything that stands out to you there?
I think the first thing to me was BYU and where they were put. I can't believe they were put as low as they were. That one shocked me the most. Cincinnati, I thought, with their way they would be, and I thought BYU would be right in that area as well. I know the schedule hasn't been very good because of COVID this year. They originally had a great schedule, and I understand that part of it, but I thought they were put way too low in the beginning.
I heard something really interesting today on ESPNU radio. As Purdy has passed the 30-yard line, Chris Felica, the Bear, had it mapped out that if BYU and Texas A&M played under neutral field, that the numbers would say that BYU would be favored. So again, that is in stark contrast to what the committee thinks right now about BYU.
Yeah, I would, like I said, very, very surprised of the work they've really made them have to do because of that initial ranking and where they are.
And Iowa State in the conversation at number 9, like BYU and Cincinnati, needing some help as Breece Hall gets maybe one. 3rd down coming up.
Listen, we've never had a 2-loss team in the playoffs, but again, this is a different year. We still have to wait to see if Ohio State's going to have enough games to be eligible for the Big Ten championship. And even if they don't, you got to believe they would change their rule to let them go in it, because you want to give someone in your conference the best chance to get into the college football playoff. And I would understand it if I'm part of that conference. Say give them the chance, because they're really the only one in the Big Ten that's going to have a chance to get into the college football playoff.
And if this, for a team that's not in the Power 5, if you can't make the college football playoff this year, it's probably never going to happen. 1st down catch made by Hutchinson. And this is the best shot that a Cincinnati or BYU has to be in that top 4.
It's the best shot until if or when they expand the playoffs. But right now, you're absolutely right. And right now, Cincinnati is sitting in that spot there. As again, they would need Florida to lose their 2nd game of the year, whether it's now before they get to the title game or in the title game against Alabama. They would need Clemson to lose their 2nd game of the year when they play Notre Dame in the AC championship game. Those are 2 things that would have to happen for sure.
I think it's going to be really interesting based on what we saw with that playoff predictor as Luongo was tackled for a loss by Stills, is if what happens if Florida beats Alabama and Clemson beats Notre Dame? Are those your 4 college football playoff teams? An Ohio State team that might be undefeated, but maybe playing fewer games doesn't get in?
I'll say it again. If those are really good games, I could see that happening. And the death knell for Ohio State would be the fact that they didn't play enough games, because we've heard from the committee. They have basically said number of games is going to matter in what we're looking at.
2nd and 10 for Iowa State. Purdy to the air with a 32-point lead and taking a shot. Knocked away, but a flag. Chase Allen, the intended receiver, Chandler Semito in coverage.
I mean, again, that's what you do, right? You see 6-7.
Pass interference, defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
6-7 against 5'11". The coverage is there. Now there's an interference call, but still, Purdy sees the defender on his guy, but he's like, my guy's 6'7". I'm going to take the chance with what nobody would consider a 50-50 ball. They would be going at least 70-30 ball on that. And if you don't get the catch, then there's a good chance you get what you just saw, the interference.
So still officially just 2 incompletions for Purdy today, and one of those was a drop. Here's Hall getting the corner. And out of bounds around the 35-yard line. Hall inching closer to another 100-yard day. Here's the selection committee chair, Gary Barta, what he said this week. A lot of discussion about the number of games a team plays. It's not anybody's fault. Trying to evaluate a team as 4 games versus a team 7, 8, or 9 is definitely a problem created by the pandemic. The more games a team brings to the committee, the more we have to evaluate. So if you read that, Mike, is that a positive for a team like Ohio State or a negative?
Oh, I think eventually it would be a negative unless they are just dominant in any other games that they play.
Purdy forced out of the pocket and just went down awkwardly. Again, I'm sitting at home, so I think he went down. That's just based on what I saw. I got fooled. Let's bring in Kark. Paul, I'm curious, as you're watching this game live from Ames, any thoughts you have on how the college football playoff might be shaping up?
Well, follow me here, gents. Say Alabama beats Florida. Ohio State finds 6 games, wins the conference. If Clemson beats Notre Dame, Notre Dame is a 1-loss team, not a conference champ. And then Texas A&M. If they're a 1-loss non-conference champ, who do you give that 4th spot to? Do you give it to a 1-loss Notre Dame non-conference champ or Texas A&M non-conference champ? I think realistically that could be that last spot.
Real quickly, by the way, great throw and catch there. Sean Shaw with the catch going out of bounds. I would say then it comes down to the game. If Notre Dame loses a field goal game to Clemson, I think Notre Dame would get the nod because Texas A&M wouldn't be playing in the title game. They'll be playing that same weekend, I believe, against Tennessee. But
the ruling on the field of the completed pass is under further review.
Okay, we'll check that pass, but I think if it's a good, close game and Notre Dame were to lose, I think possibly Notre Dame could still be in it. There's so many permutations. I think Ohio State is one of the best teams, too, in the country. But number of games, we heard it there from Mr. Barta, it is going to matter. We're back after this. Ames, Iowa State up on West Virginia, 35-3. Here was that play, called the reception, and you're going to see why it's not. Sean Shaw with the ball, and then right here, you see the ball start to come out and move. Good job by Tyke Smith keeping his hand in between there and eventually loosening that ball up.
Purdy over the middle to Hutchinson inside the 30-yard line, but it's 4th down. Cyclones up 35-3. They're going to improve to 8-2, finish regular season Big 12 play 8-1 with their lone loss in conference play at Oklahoma State by field goal. Their other loss was against Louisiana back on September 12th, 31-14. They will be in the Big 12 title game for the first time ever.
4th and 5, they're gonna go for it here. It would be about a 45-yard field goal if they tried it.
Purdy with everybody covered.
Touchdown.
Dumps it off. Breece Hall wide open. Walks in for a touchdown. His 2nd touchdown today, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air, and that certainly will help his Heisman Trophy cause, adding some numbers here late, 28 yards.
Wow, he actually wanted Landon Akers on the other side of the field first, and almost the same route Akers ran the other way to get his touchdown. He wanted that first, didn't go to it, and then ended up having to buy some time coming back right. to the right side, and Breece Hall just slipped out, and you could just see it. He had nothing but green there. When you can slow down before you get to the end zone, you know you're pretty darn wide open.
And again, a West Virginia defense that is number 1 in pass defense, number 4 in total defense, number 14 in points allowed, getting absolutely pummeled by this Iowa State offense. Brock Purdy's thrown 3 touchdown passes. Didn't have to do a whole lot here after he left the pocket. He did a ton to get out of trouble. Just dumped it off, though, to Breece Hall. Had a bite of a sandwich as he walked into the end zone for an easy 6. Well, in Ames, they are celebrating for good reason. They're on their way to the Big 12 title game and an 8-2 record, already number 9 in the country, their highest college football playoff ranking ever. Can they get higher? They beat Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game and get some help from some other teams. Maybe they'll be playing on January 1st in the college football playoff. Here's Wright with a nice return down at the 34. Let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
Guys, BYU answered after Coastal Carolina's touchdown. Tyler Algier, what a cut up the middle, untouched. 42 yards for the score, 7-6 right now. Coastal back on the move. That over on ESPNU. Coming up after you guys go final, CJ Verdell and Oregon looking to bounce back after losing to Oregon State. That coming up on ESPN.
Yeah,
there was no foul on the play. First down. West Virginia.
Pac-12 out of the college football playoff discussion with Oregon losing that game last week.
And, you know, you talked about Iowa State trying to move up. Nobody ahead of them at this point is, if I'm looking quickly, is losing or has lost. So it will be interesting what this type of win, this a destruction going on right now, if it will help them jump anybody in front of them.
Most yards given up by West Virginia's defense this year. Deggy looking, launching, incomplete. Intended for Sam Brown. So this stadium is named after the late Jack Trice, the first black student athlete in the history of Iowa State. Here's what he wrote in his hotel room before his last collegiate game, a game in which actually he suffered injuries that resulted in death. He said, "The honor of my race family itself is at stake. Everyone is expecting me to do big things. I will. My whole body and soul are to be thrown recklessly about the field." Only FBS stadium named after an African-American, Jack Trice Stadium in Ames.
I mean, you know, you read that letter on the letterhead of the hotel that they were staying at. It was a game against Minnesota. As you mentioned, the injury sustained in that game, he died after that. And John Haycock, the defensive coordinator for Iowa State, said that letter, copy of that letter is on the front of every defensive playbook for all his defensive players. You know, just as a reminder. I mean, you just read that letter, and for those that don't know enough about it, man, this is where Google is a beautiful thing. Read about Jack Trice and just the incredible story that he had, and how John Haycock is still making the guys today understand the importance of it.
Wright picking up the first down, it would appear. 6.5 to go and a 42-3 Iowa State lead.
You know, Haycock, a coach who has brought, we talk about Matt Campbell and the success. Boy, that defense has had some success since he has been here as well. You know, really the last 4 years after that first year was a tough year, the transition year when they got here, but the 4 years after that, again, that's why, one of the big reasons why this is the winningest class in Iowa State history.
Letty Brown tackled for a loss. This coaching staff, you're right, it's not just Matt Campbell, it's a great staff. Tom Manning, the offensive coordinator. Like Matt Campbell, a Mount Union guy. Campbell won 5 national titles as a player and coach at the Division III school in Ohio. He's won Big 12 Coach of the Year twice at Iowa State. Should win it this year, which would be the 3rd time in 4 years. And obviously his name is being mentioned for several potential openings in college football. And I've heard his name in NFL circles as well, at least as somebody that NFL teams would like to reach out to and have a conversation with. Deggy on the run. And his pass caught at the 35-yard line by Ryan. Let's go to Matt Berry.
All right, guys, Florida trying to cement their spot in the SEC championship with a win. Kyle Trask, 417 yards, 4 touchdowns. This one to Jacob Copeland, 31-13 Gators. Tyler Shuck of the Oregon Ducks coming up. Got a little Pac-12 doubleheader for you coming up here on ESPN.
All right, Matt, thank you. And 5 minutes to go here in this Big 12 game.
Tough not to think Kyle Trask isn't in the lead for the Heisman. But the year he is having is ridiculous.
Deggy dumps it off and throwing it away, trying to hit Letty Brown. Yeah, you got to think Trask, Mac Jones. Trask right now, though, seems to be the front runner.
I mean, Zach Wilson, what he's doing, let's see what he continues to do. Again, we talk about Breece Hall, the running back here. Possibly, and I don't think he's one of the favorites. Unfortunately, I would love him to be, and we'll see where that could go. There's still another game to go, though. But Kyle Trask is between he and Pitts, the tight end there. I know missed a couple of games. The two of them are having an incredible year.
The one loss for Florida was at Texas A&M. Letty Brown down in the backfield at the 41. Big 12 now a must-have for Big 12 fans with over 40 men's basketball games this season. Mountaineers play Robert Morris Wednesday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Cyclones play Jackson State on Sunday, December 20th. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12now.
One of the other. Go ahead.
I'm just going to ask you about Matt Campbell. If you're Matt Campbell and you're going to have people coming after you, I mean, he's a small school guy. That's how he came up. He's at a school. He's built a program that has shown that it can compete every year in the Big 12. As Deggy throws it downfield, incomplete. You're Matt Campbell. How would you handle this?
Well, again, see, I'll say again, it comes down to what he wants to do. You know, is he happy here, building this program to make it a powerhouse? Is he saying, okay, I want to use this to go to the next place? Just like I always talked about, especially in pro sports, every free agent player has a reason they want to go somewhere. Geography, family reasons, money, whatever. There's a different reason for every free agent. I think the same thing is true about a head coach. What's the reason, if you want to go, do you want to go, or the reason that you want to stay? I look at it just like a free agent in professional sports.
Here's Deggy on 4th and 14, and it's caught for a first down by Estelle. When you look at Lincoln Riley's name had been mentioned for many jobs and turned down some college and pro jobs, and he's making, he can stay at Oklahoma forever,
right? Yep.
And make $5, $6, $7 million a year. I don't know if Matt Campbell can get that kind of money at Iowa State, but you know, at some point, do you say, I don't need to rule the world.
Right.
I have enough of the world as it is.
I enjoy where I am right now, as opposed to, as I mentioned, a guy like Matt Rule, who took the move from Temple to Baylor and Baylor then to the NFL. That was obviously a goal for him and something he wanted to do.
And can you sustain it at Baylor? I mean, that's another question. Can you sustain it at Iowa State as Sinkfield tries to run to the perimeter? They've shown the way that this group can recruit, that they can sustain this.
I'll say again, Dave, we had that graphic up earlier about the few top ESPN 300 recruits they've gotten as opposed to what they have done. And you just wonder, we always talk about winning begets winning. Do the higher profile players start to keep an eye as we have a player down for Iowa State?
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
It's Tavon Kyle. And if you can continue, I mean, Brock Purdy could have gone to a lot of places. So as long as you get a few guys, and there's guys that can play quarterback, if you can get the big-time quarterback, and again, Purdy, you know, the other thing, too, for Matt Campbell, you know, it's senior day, and you could be looking and saying, well, it's senior day, so, you know, what's the program going to look like next year? Well, the program could look really similar because these guys could come back. Well, tonight in Blacksburg and ABC, it is Virginia Tech trying to knock off number 3 Clemson. That would help Iowa State's cause if Clemson lost going into that ACC championship with Notre Dame and then won the ACC. That wouldn't hurt. Coverage starts 7:30 ABC. I don't know if that's going to happen, though, the way Trevor Lawrence
Right.
looked at his first game back.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And more to your point now, Matt Campbell talked about, because I said you are going to lose players. Now, again, people can't have the choice to come back, but I think some obviously are still going to go. He talked about some of the junior leaders, from Purdy to Mike Rose on defense, Vance O'Ryan, another linebacker on defense, Anthony Johnson, a DB on defense. So he's talked about some real leaders here that are juniors.
Daggy overthrows the intended receiver, Sean Ryan.
And then you mentioned, the coaches. I love coaching how the coaches all somehow come together. Like Matt Campbell, and you mentioned Tom Manning, the old coordinator. They played together at Mount Union. And then a year after that, Manning was still there, and Campbell was his position coach. So this is where relationships start at times.
Daggy on 3rd down and 10. Almost intercepted in the end zone on the redirection through the hands of Simmons. And then Iowa State's Craig McDonald couldn't come up with it.
4th down here, obviously. Continue to go for it. Oh, no, they're going to come in. I'm not really sure why, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't quite get that one. Doesn't serve a purpose, really. You already avoided the shutout at this point. What's 3 more points? And Sumter puts it through, 42-6 with 2:46 to go. But it's an interesting Monday night football game. First of all, it's a good game, Bills and 49ers, but it's in Arizona because of what's going on in Santa Clara, the COVID-19 restrictions in Santa Clara County. So that game will be played at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. ABC this week, too. ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app.
Yeah, so the 49ers are going to play at least, I believe, their next 2 home games in Arizona, which you have to wonder, Dave, if the Bills will feel a little bit of shock there, because you were on the call there when Arizona beat the Bills on the Kyler Murray Hail Mary. Now Buffalo was supposed to be in San Fran. It's got to walk back into that building where that happened to him.
Oh, man.
Even with a different team.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And the Niners also will play a game, by the way, against the Cardinals at State Farm Stadium.
Right.
So they have 3 games there coming up.
How about, it was interesting, San Francisco beating the Rams. You think the Rams, who's trying to take control of that division? The Rams, San Francisco's been the MASH unit this year of the NFL, and they get the win over the Rams. That's a bad loss for Los Angeles.
And Rams play Arizona tomorrow. Cardinals have lost their last 2 games since the Hail Mary. Don't say Hail Murray. It's been patented reportedly.
No.
We don't want you to have to pay Kyler anything, Mike.
I hope you patent that, Dave.
I wish. Fair caught by Nwangu, so officially a touchback. It will come out to the 25. Take a look at today's hardest working player, brought to you by the Duluth Trading Company. Go ahead, take it, Mike.
Well, I'm going to make all my O-line friends happy, and son as well. I'm giving it to the O-line. Again, up for they were in the Joe Moore midseason honor roll. This team has rushed for 212 yards. I know Bryce Hall and Nwangu get a lot of the love here, but let me tell you, those guys up front, and let's include the tight ends as well. The tight ends are a big part of even blocking on this offense, but the 5 grunts, Foster, Simmons, Newell, Schweiger, and Remsburg, kudos to you guys, a tip of the cap for your hard work today.
And Hunter Decker's a true freshman into the game at quarterback for Iowa State. Hands it off to Jirel Brock. He has a first down. So just think about it, Mike. The last time Iowa State won a conference championship 108 years ago, and it's a regular season crown. They still obviously have the conference championship game to play, but historic day for the Cyclones.
Without question, as we get a look at Hunter Deckers, the true freshman, 4-star Iowa Gatorade Player of the Year, 6'3", 234.
Has all the passing records in Iowa.
Yes.
Brock trying to juke a defender, gets a couple. I'm not sure if you remember 1912, Mike, personally. don't. But you look back, the state I'm in right now calling this game became the 48th state. New Mexico on January 6, 1912 became the 47th. That's when Fenway Park opened as well. And your guy was a player then.
That. Wow. I have a helmet like that, by the way. I didn't use it. I'm just saying I have one. And that year again, Iowa State played 2 conference games. They were in the Missouri Valley Conference. They beat Missouri and Drake were their 2 conference wins. They were co-champs that year with Nebraska.
Decker's keeping it, turning it upfield, close to a first down before he's pushed out.
You always look for coachable moments, don't you, Dave? Even in a blowout win? Young man, don't run out of bounds. Don't run out of bounds. Stay in bounds. Let the clock keep running. Player down here for West Virginia.
Sean Mahone. So, Mike, in case you were wondering, who did Iowa State play back in 1912? They had 2 conference games. They lost the opener to Minnesota 5-0.
Again, the conference games were Missouri and Drake. Both wins, so 2-0. They won a big one over Grinnell.
You can name the mascot for Grinnell, Mike. I'll buy you dinner when we actually see each other in person.
I gotta believe it's the Grinnell Gators, Dave.
Is that right?
I have no idea. I completely made that up. Because it's all right.
A Gator in Iowa, though?
That's the first thing that came to mind. Grinnell,
All right, so
I'm just going to get myself in trouble. I don't know.
No, I just was told.
Oh, it's Kark have it.
I think Kark has it. I won't spoil. Let's let Paul tell us. Go ahead, Paul.
It's the fox squirrels. Come on, guys. How do you not know that? The Grinnell fox squirrels.
I like mine better.
I just Googled it.
3rd down and 2. And they get the first down here with Jirel Brock between the tackles.
Could they not decide between a fox and a squirrel? Oh, no. Either way, that was 1912. This is 2020. And it is going to be a nice post game in Ames for these players in the locker room. Again, senior night. I mean, it's a fantastic thing. You put all the blood, sweat, and tears in with all your teammates there, and you want to send the seniors off with a big win like this on your home field. It's just awesome. And as they say, it's the best formation in all of football.
A 31-18 record the last 4 years, the best 4-year run in school history. 8-2 overall, 8-1 in Big 12 play for the first time ever, and the first appearance in the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma, by virtue of the losses today by Oklahoma State and West Virginia, will be the Cyclones' opponent. Iowa State beat Oklahoma earlier this year in Ames for the first time since 1960. 42-6, the final score today.
Wow, what can you do? Congratulations to that man, his staff, and all the players on the job they have done. Again, not just this year, but how he has turned this program around from coaching staff to players to culture, exactly the way he wanted to. Congrats to all of them.
(42-6) the final score. Coming up next, college football scoreboard for Mike Golick Sr. in Bristol, Connecticut, Paul Carcaterra in Ames, Iowa. I'm Dave Pasch in Arizona. Iowa State clinching a spot in the Big 12 championship game for the first time ever. Still in the hunt for a college football playoff berth. Now to Matt Berry in the studio.